Now notice the next one. We're told here to give subtlety to the simple. Now, what does he mean here? Well, I hear this used a great deal today on television. We ought to be prudent, and that's the word. That actually means that we ought to be wise in what we do. A child of God ought not to act very foolish. I know a young couple that went to the mission field. They just shut their eyes, as it were, and went to the mission field. I personally urged them not to go. Well, they came back casualty, and they actually made shipwreck of their lives by going to the mission field. Why? They were not prudent. You should be wise in what you do. You remember the Lord Jesus says, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Now will you notice, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. Now, knowledge is information that's good for him. I remember in the science lab in the college I went to, there was in the bulletin board this motto. Now, I've forgotten all the formulas I ever learned in chemistry, but I've never forgotten this. Next to knowing is knowing where to find out. That's the reason it's nice to have the Bible handy and learn to read it, because you don't know, you sure can know where to find out. The last word that's used here is discretion. Now, what does he mean by discretion? That means thoughtfulness. And this is for the young man, and generally, young people are thoughtless. I'm very frank to say I was a very thoughtless young man. Some think I'm still that way, but I forget so many things. But we should be thoughtful. How wonderful it is to find a thoughtful Christian. I have several very wonderful Christian friends here in Southern California. I'm getting ready right now to take a trip. I'm going back east. And it's been a little cool back there, apparently. And one of these friends came by and brought me a lovely sweater. May I say to you, thoughtful. There's so many wonderful Christians, thoughtful. And that's a characteristic we ought to have. This book of Proverbs is going to help us with all these words, to have them incorporated into our lives.